You have the experience, the wisdom, and credibility, but guess what? None of that means a thing if no one knows you even exist. I want to show you a 3-step process that you can begin to use today to start showing up as a prominent person of impact. Hi, I'm Joe Nortrup, author of Learn How to Build a Brand for Smart People in Under 2 Hours, and I help ambitious and second act professionals like you take your real world experience and transform it into a powerful online presence. I want to walk you through a 3-step starting point today on how you can begin to start showing up as a PPI. That's what we're going to get into today in episode 4 of Get Voice Engine, the podcast where you learn the fundamentals of building a personal brand. I'm your host, Joe Nortrup, and I'm glad you're here. Let's jump in. Welcome to Get Voice Engine, where you'll learn the fundamentals of how to build a personal brand, the process for developing your own unique niche, and finding your voice. I'm your host, Joe Nortrup. Let's get started. Welcome back to the show. I'm glad you decided to hang out. So let's jump into these 3 steps on how to become a prominent person of impact, how to start showing up as a PPI. So step 1 is about picking a platform that you can commit to and showing up to weekly. And I recommend that you start with long form. And I recommend that you pick one platform, just one. That's all you need. I know there's other influencers out there that are very successful that are telling you should be on every platform. I'm telling you right now, that's not going to work for the vast majority of people that want to build a personal brand, and it's not necessary. You can develop a great following. It can be a modest following, but if it's a following that's in a niche that you ultimately develop for your personal brand and you're doing it correctly, you're going to be able to develop a client base and have a successful online business. So don't worry about being everywhere. Be one place, but be there consistently. So step 1, pick a platform and stick with it. I personally feel that you should start by flexing your long form content muscles. You need to start building those first. And the reason why is long form content can be repurposed. Other forms of content, it's very difficult and challenging. It takes a lot of time to try to string them together to repurpose them. So this means you're likely going to start on LinkedIn or YouTube if you like video. I started on LinkedIn myself. I love LinkedIn. It's a great place to cut your chops, so to speak, in creating content. You can test certain types of content and see what gets the most impressions, things like that. And it's just a great place to learn. Very forgiving. Not a bunch of trolls on there like you're going to run into with some of these other platforms that live on the short form content, where you're just going to get trolled to death and get discouraged and have a bunch of negativity. LinkedIn, to my experience, has never been like that. It's always been a very positive platform and a great place to grow and learn. So I recommend that. So pick a platform, show up, and commit to that. Step 2 is about clarifying what you want to be known for, and ultimately distilling that down to clarifying what your promise is going to be to your ideal client avatar, customer avatar, or ICP, as they like to call the ideal client today. So this distillation process, this distilling process that takes place, this is something I talked about in earlier videos and in earlier articles, where this is something that you can't force, you can't cut to the chase and shortcut your way to this distillation process of getting to what your niche is really going to end up being. And the reason why is because it is a process. It's like the distilling process where you take potatoes, raw potatoes or rice or grain, and you put it into these big vats and in these stills, and you end up with a fine liquor that you can drink and enjoy. You wouldn't start with that raw product that ultimately creates this refined liquor and put that in a glass, because it would make no sense, right? It wouldn't be what you were really after, which was this finished product over here. It's the same with creating content and building a personal brand. It is a process that takes place naturally. Your niche, where you're going to ultimately land, is going to unfold before your eyes as you begin to create content, if You're creating content with a view to really, putting some thought into who it is that you want to serve, why you want to serve that client avatar, what motivates you and drives you to want to do that. And through that process of creating content based on those principles, based on your values, you're going to find what your niche ultimately is. It will come to you. So step 2, work on that clarifying process through each piece of content that you create. And don't overthink this. Just let it happen. The main point always is getting something done. Done is better than perfect. And this distilling process, this clarifying process will happen even if your content piece that you create on any given week isn't perfect. So don't worry about that. Don't sweat the small stuff. Do the work and let the process happen for you. And step 3 is that you want to create one piece of content a week. Yes, that's what I said, one piece of content a week. Sounds pretty simple, right? Pick a platform, work at clarifying your message, what you want to be known for, what your ultimate promise is going to be, and 3, creating one piece of content a week. Now, again, just like I know, with step 1, picking one platform, I know there's influencers out there who are going to tell you that's a bunch of garbage, you need to be on every platform, and blah, blah, blah. It's a waste of time for someone who's just starting the process of building a personal brand. Not only is it a waste of time, but it's a great way to get discouraged and give up. Pick one platform, learn how to master that platform and get really good at it, and build some momentum and see growth start to happen. It takes time. Don't give up. Step 2, keep clarifying your message. And step 3, show up once a week. That's all you have to do. Create one piece of content a week, and you'll be amazed at the results. So that's the 3-step process to start showing up. You can start this tomorrow. You can start it today, depending on what you got going on today. But you can start this process immediately, these 3 steps of showing up as a prominent person of impact. And believe me, that you will become a PPI over months and months of doing this consistently. You will see the growth come, and you will see your message begin to resonate with those that are consuming it. So I'm glad you were here today. I hope these 3 steps resonate with you. If they do, I'll have my link to my LinkedIn in the show notes. You can hit me up there, DM me with the word ready, and I'll send you my free 3-step framework for creating content and showing up regularly. It's very simple, but it can help you organize yourself. I highly recommend you adopt a journal for your content creating ideas. And I didn't talk about it on this episode in detail, but as far as creating your content, absolutely utilize AI. AI is a great tool for research and for prompting ideas. It can't replace you. It can't replace your experience, your wisdom, your credibility as a human being, and your ability to interact with others who ultimately will show up needing your help and wanting your help. AI will never be able to replace that, but it is a great tool to get the creative juices flowing and get your mind working and help you pick out things that you want to discuss. And when you create this one piece of content a week, if you're doing a written piece of content, remember 3 bullet points. It doesn't have to be a multi-page or 1,000-word essay. 3 bullet points, keep it brief, but just make sure they have some sort of value. There's a nugget of value there that whoever's tuning in and checking out your content can come away with some sort of value. That's really the gist of it. And then over time, you're going to start to develop your own goals that you want to pursue as a content creator and somebody who is becoming a prominent person of impact in your area of expertise. So that's going to wrap it up for episode 4. We're going to keep diving into all these points deeper and deeper as we continue to produce content for Get Voice Engine, the podcast where you go to learn the fundamentals, the basics of building your personal brand. I'm Joe Nortrup. I'm glad you were here today. Come back and see me again soon. In the meantime, take care.